Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. So as always, before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like, helps the videos a ton. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with the big news that dropped today, that being the release date and pricing for PlayStation VR2 alongside multiple new game announcements. So we're going to head over to the PlayStation blog, and it says PlayStation VR2 launches in February at $549. It says here, over the past several months, we've introduced PlayStation VR2 and provided glimpses into the next generation of virtual reality gaming, which will allow you to escape into new worlds while feeling a groundbreaking sense of immersion. Today, I'm very pleased to announce that PlayStation VR2 is officially launching on February 22nd, 2023. PlayStation VR2 Sense Controller charging station, designed specifically for the PSVR2 Sense Controller, will also launch the same day. There's also going to be a PlayStation VR2 Horizon called the Mountain Bundle, which will be $60, and the price for the PlayStation VR2 Sense Controller charging station is going to be $50. They continue here by saying standalone software titles, including Horizon Call the Mountain, will also be available for pre-order starting this month. More details will be provided at a later date. During this initial launch phase for our next-gen headset, players in the US, UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg will initially be able to pre-order PlayStation VR2 solely through PlayStation's online store at direct.playstation.com. Pre-orders will begin on November 15th, and players may begin to register for pre-orders starting today. Orders from direct.playstation.com for PlayStation VR2 headsets and bundles will ship throughout the week of launch. In other markets, PlayStation VR2 will be sold at participating retailers with pre-orders beginning on November 15th. Information will be provided through participating local retailers in these regions. They continue by saying, today we are also pleased to reveal additional titles coming to PlayStation VR2 with fresh new reveals on new titles that are currently in development for PSVR2. And so they did announce 11 new games. If you head over to the official PlayStation YouTube channel, they have a trailer for each new game that they announced. Finally, they say it's exciting to see how game developers are taking advantage of the PSVR2's headset features to design the next gen of VR games. We're expecting more than 20 titles at launch, and we can't wait for February when PSVR2 launches so players can give it a try. We will have more details on our launch game lineup in the future, so stay tuned. And that's pretty much everything they're revealing within this blog post. And so I also want to refer to this article here from Push Square, where it says PSVR2 games offer free upgrades if you own the PSVR version. It says PSVR2 won't support backwards compatibility with original PSVR games, but the developers who are upgrading their games for the new headset are offering free upgrades. Announced alongside the device's release date and price, Pistol Whip VR and Zenith: The Last City are all giving owners free upgrades if you already own the game. It's not clear whether this free upgrade path is mandated by Sony. It likely isn't, given the company's switch to paid upgrades for PS5 games, but it's a good start for those wanting to upgrade their collection of PSVR titles. So yeah, this is something that people were wondering about. We know that this headset isn't backwards compatible with PSVR 1, and so, we'll have to just wait and see if more developers continue to offer free upgrades. I'm sure they will. I mean, I think have a pretty good incentive to do so here. So yeah, that's all the new information for PSVR 2. I have to say, I am a little bit surprised that it's actually more expensive than the PS5. I thought it would be $500. I didn't think Sony would actually go beyond the price of the console. Granted, it's by $50. So for people who were already anticipating about a $500 headset, I don't think that's necessarily going to be make or break. But at this point, I want to leave it to you guys and ask your thoughts on this. Will you be picking up PlayStation VR 2? Are you sold on PlayStation VR 2? I have to say, I am quite surprised that Sony decided to take this approach with the blog posts and not do a maybe smaller dedicated state of play for VR2, but yeah, this is where we're at. So let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about the PS5 and how apparently US retailers sell 100,000 PS5s in 17.5 hours on average. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, it says, want to know how fast PS5 stock sells out? According to Sony, in the month of September 2022, US retailers sold 100,000 PS5s in 17.5 hours on average. Considering this is the rate at which the console sold nearly 2 years after launch, we can only imagine how quickly it vanished from store shelves during its launch window and first holiday season. And so this was something that I just kind of want to take a moment here to point out. If anything, it's just interesting data. I think it goes to show that the demand for the PS5 still is definitely there. And yesterday we talked about how Sony is, let's face it, nowhere near hitting that 18 million units sold number that they want to achieve before the end of the fiscal year, and yet they are still holding firm. They are not readjusting that, and they are telling their investors that they fully intend to hit that 18 million units sold before April 1st of next year. As you can see with data and statistics like this, it reveals that it has absolutely nothing to do with interest in the PS5. The interest is there. Demand is there. And so all Sony really has to do, as we continue to say, is just produce more PS5s and get closer and closer to meeting that demand. And again, Sony feels very confident that that's exactly what they're going to be able to do, not only over the course of this holiday season, but early in 2023 as well. So there you go, 100,000 PS5s in about 17 and a half hours. Pretty good, I'd say, for this console. Next up, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok. Apparently, Sony believes that Ragnarok sales will match God of War 2018's 23 million. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, Sony Interactive Entertainment has said that it expects God of War Ragnarok sales performance to be similar to 2018's God of War, which has sold 23 million copies to date. Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki said during a financial presentation yesterday that the previous game was one of the biggest ever PlayStation exclusives, so Ragnarok has some pretty big shoes to fill. Considering God of War 2018 also released on PC and was one of Sony's hit games on Steam, expect Ragnarok to follow suit. So this was something that I just wanted to mention briefly because we did cover the news yesterday that it was announced God of War 2018 sold 23 million units, and now Sony is saying that they fully anticipate that Ragnarok will be able to do similar numbers. Now, I'm going to be honest, I think Ragnarok has the potential to maybe go beyond that, right? Because it's not just releasing on the PS5, it's also releasing on the PS4. It's a sequel, and, you know, there is a tremendous amount of hype behind this. And so I don't want to say for sure that it's going to sell more, but I think if there was any game that Sony released in the past year and a half or so, or maybe even 2 years, that has the potential to really, I think, set a new sales record for them, I think it's God of War Ragnarok. And so, you know, we'll see if Sony makes any announcements after the first couple days that this game is out, because believe me, if it does break any type of record, Sony's going to want everybody to know about it. Next up, though, we are talking about the armor system in God of War Ragnarok and how there will be a transmog system here due to popular demand coming from Push Square. It says Ragnarok is shaping up to be groundbreaking. That much is obvious from the time we've spent exploring the Nine Realms so far. It improves on many aspects of its predecessor, 2018's God of War, and in some ways exceeds them. Case in point, the inclusion of a transmog armor system, a feature fans were clamoring for but never came to the original. It has now been confirmed to be a thing in Ragnarok. If you didn't know, a transmogrification system is a feature popular in MMOs and RPGs that allows the player to alter the visual appearance of an item or piece of gear but keep the associated statistics. So say you found a powerful armor suit but hated how it looks, you could change it to something more aesthetically pleasing while keeping the benefits. On the official Santa Monica Studio Discord channel during a recent live Q&A session, God of War Ragnarok's combat lead was asked whether the game would feature an armor transmog system, to which he replied, the short answer is yes, there is a way to do it. It's there in the game. So this was something I wanted to be sure to let everybody know about because it's been officially confirmed by Santa Monica Studio, and it is true that this is a feature that a lot of fans have been asking for. And so there you go. If you are, worried that you're going to find armor set that you think just looks incredible and you want to use it, but you are not a fan of the stats it's offering, you will be able to change that. And so, yeah, let me know if that's a feature you plan to utilize. But we're going to close out this video with God of War Ragnarok and the 5 difficulty modes that have been confirmed by Santa Monica and explained. Santa Monica Studio offered some insight into Ragnarok's difficulty modes in a Discord Q&A. Unlike 2018's God of War, the game comes with 5 difficulty modes, the new addition being something that sits between the story mode and balanced mode. As a reminder, the previous entry came with give me a story, give me a balanced experience, give me a challenge, and give me God of War difficulties. So the new difficulties in Ragnarok are as follows: give me a story, give me grace, give me balance, give me no mercy, and give me God of War. While give me no mercy is similar to give me a challenge from God of War 2018, give me grace, the new mode, is supposed to be more forgiving than the balanced mode in that enemies won't attack players as frequently. The developers have made some adjustments in this mode that helps players in managing camera angles, whereby they don't have to worry about enemies attacking them from various sides. Overall, higher difficulties have been tweaked to make enemies smarter and pickier. This time around, players will be able to step down from Give Me God of War if they find it too difficult. However, they will not be able to switch back to it should they change their mind. So there you go. This is all official information coming out from Santa Monica Studio regarding God of War Ragnarok with its difficulties and its new armor transmog system. And I wanted to be sure to relay it to you guys. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.